Everything has changed for the future of the New York Islanders as they have officially drafted Matthew Schaefer first overall, adding a franchise defenseman to this team that desperately needed help on defense, especially after recent events. And this is so exciting for Islander fans as they finally have a piece to really build a core around. Yes, the Islanders have had solid players and a pretty decent core over the years, but now you have that franchise player to build the rest of your team around, a player that so many teams around the league desperately wanted. Schaefer is an Islander, and this is such exciting news. We're going to discuss it on this episode of Islanders Digest and just really take it in now the Islanders have officially made the right decision and drafted Matthew Schaefer. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. What are the emotions coming as the Islanders make it official and bring him into the organization? Personally, I just feel relieved, even though I knew it was almost certain they were going to draft Schaefer. There was a part of me that worried that they were going to go in another direction, whether it was drafting Michael Misa or bringing hometown hero James Hagens into the fold. And it is unfortunate that did not happen at this point. The Boston Bruins have selected James Hagens, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But first, we got to focus on Matthew Schaefer, because I feel like on this channel, it's almost been expected for so long that the Islanders are going to bring in Schaefer that we really haven't taken in how much of an opportunity this is for the franchise. Truly, this is franchise changing, and I am so excited that this has happened. And for the first time in a good bit, the Islanders' future now looks brighter than ever, even with some of the trade that happened today that probably made the Islanders take a step back in the short term. Having Schaefer long-term in the back end for the defense for 15 to 20 years is so exciting as an Islander fan. Really quickly, before we get into talking about Schaefer and how his impact is going to be huge for the New York Islanders, the channel has been absolutely booming in the past days, and more is coming for the New York Islanders as we're going to have more picks to talk about later today. And in addition, the next rounds of the draft are tomorrow, and then free agency is coming, and I have a feeling Darsh is going to continue to be active. So if you don't want to miss any of that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal is 1,500 subscribers by the end of free agency, and we are well on our way there. 440 subscribers in the last 28 days. Your support has meant so much as we continue to put up Islanders content every single day, really multiple posts a day at this point with so much crazy news coming out. Now let's talk about Matthew Schaefer, and this was a really emotional moment as an Islander fan. And for Matthew Schaefer, who cried on stage as he put on the Islanders hat and then saw the pink ribbon on the Islanders jersey. I think this was a really classy thing for the Islanders to do, to really show him that his mother was with him as he got drafted by the organization. And it was emotional. Honestly, I kind of teared up watching him as he tried to talk about. He really could not get his words out, which is really not characteristic for Schaefer. One of the biggest things about him, other than his on-the-ice play, this is a great personality and something the Islanders really need. I know a part of this was due to Lamoriello, but you have lacked a lot of personality on this team when it comes to getting to know this organization better. And Schaefer just brings so much life. He brings so much energy to this team. I don't think there's a lot of doubt in my mind when I say I think Schaefer is going to be a future captain of the New York Islanders, on top of being their franchise defenseman for the next years. An incredible pick by them, and really, I don't think there was ever much of a choice for the New York Islanders. I know we've talked about Michael Misa, and some of you in the comments have been really excited about Michael Misa. And I think Michael Misa is going to be an incredible player. Congratulations to the Sharks for drafting him, but Schaefer is really in a league of his own when it comes to just what he brings to an organization. You don't see defensemen like this, so young, already showing so much, not only experience on the ice and skill in the game, but also maturity off the ice. That is something that really stands out. Stefan Rosner talking about Schaefer's interview, talking about how he didn't know about the cancer ribbon. Instead, it just goes to show the high class of the organization of the Islanders. I think this is a really nice moment. And also, we just really have to focus about what this future is for the Islanders and just how excited Schaefer is to be an Islander. This is an incredible fit, and I think this is going to work so well. Now, one thing we do have to mention, I know this was something fans really like to see. A lot of fans actually want to see Hagens drafted first overall, at least initially, the Long Island native. Unfortunately, the Islanders were not able to make that move and make Hagens be a reality. And I think at this point, it's time for the Islanders to just move on. They had a really successful draft. We're really going to be focusing on Schaefer on this video because I think Schaefer deserves his own video. I'm first overall pick, but we are going to be talking about those two picks in a next video. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications on that video. Once it's out, it will be linked at the end of this video. So if it's not out there right away, it will be there soon. But although this doesn't happen, I do want to say, it's okay. I know Islander fans are definitely going to be upset, especially considering the ones who wanted to get Hagens. It's okay that this did not happen. The fact the Islanders got Schaefer is a win, and that alone is something to celebrate. It's an incredible day for Islanders fans, and one we're going to look at fondly for a very long time. I think for years we'll be looking back at clips of this draft and really being excited about the future of the New York Islanders. With Schaefer on the Islanders, how could you not get excited? I know there have been some comments about these point totals, and I will say, from the clips that they showed of him after the draft, I just don't think it showed the justice of how good this player is. Schaefer is a player who can absolutely dominate the ice. Every shift he only played 17 games in addition to the games he played in juniors. Every single game he played, he was the best player on the ice. He absolutely dominated. He takes control of the puck. The way he's able to effortlessly move it and skate with it, his skating is on a level that you really don't see in defensemen so young. That's something you have to keep in mind when it comes to Matthew Schaefer. He is one of the youngest players in this draft. If he was just 2 weeks younger, he would be in next year's draft. That is how young this player is and how much room he has to grow as a player. And considering how he already has a good size at 6'2", 183 pounds, and he already has so much skill on the defensive side of the puck. This is going to be a huge player for the Islanders' future, and I think people are really underestimating how much offense Schaefer can provide from the back end. When you hear comments of people talking about how they don't know if Schaefer was the best pick for the Islanders, they're always talking about how the Islanders need more scoring. Schaefer is a player who can score goals. Not for nothing, he only played 17 games in the OHL. 7 goals in 17 games for a defenseman is pretty incredible. This is a player who comes up on the rush, and just looking at some of the players and how Mathew Barzal wants to build a team with speed, Schaefer's ability to come up on the rush is going to be so instrumental for the Islanders' future. I'm already picturing him skating up with Mathew Barzal, creating 2-on-1s. This is a great fit for this organization. I really think for any organization, Schaefer would be a great fit, and this is just, I'm so excited I can't even contain my excitement. There really was no doubt in my mind that Schaefer was the first overall pick in this draft. Looking at all the rankings, by consolidated ranking, he was number 1. Elite Prospects, number 1. TSN, number 1. TSN Craig Button, number 1. Number 2 by Ferrari, number 1 by Kennedy, number 1 by McKean's, number 1 by Flow Hockey, number 1 by FC Hockey, number 1 Daily Faceoff. You get the idea. There's maybe 1 or 2 draft sites that had him at number 2, but this, in my opinion, was the clear number 1 pick, and a pick that is really going to define the future of the New York Islanders. If the New York Islanders are going to get out of this transition period and become an elite contending team, it's going to be on the back of Matthew Schaefer. And you look at other examples, first of all, in this franchise, examples of picking defenseman first overall, Dennis Potvin is a instrumental part to the Islanders winning those cups. You look around the league, you need defense to win a cup. Years ago, 2009, the Islanders made the decision to draft John Tavares first overall, and back then, he was the number 1 ranked player in the draft. But there was some talk about potentially drafting a defenseman in Victor Hedman. The Islanders now have a similar choice, and I think they made the right decision in Matthew Schaefer. I am so excited to see this player grow with the New York Islanders. He's going to be at Islanders camp on Monday, where we can really see him play with the rest of the Islanders prospects, and I think this is really going to open people's eyes to how good of a player Matthew Schaefer is. I am so thrilled with this pick. Let me know in the comments what you're feeling now that the Islanders have officially brought Matthew Schaefer into the organization. It's going to be really interesting to see what his next steps are. I definitely wonder if he's going to perhaps play another season, maybe of college, if not in the OHL, or if he's going to get a chance to make the Islanders right away. I think it might be the best fit to give him a little more time, just because he only played 17 games, but I also think at the level he dominated, perhaps playing at a lower level will no longer help him develop. So that's going to be something that I truly trust the Islanders coaching staff to decide, and Matthew Barzal. And if he isn't on the Islanders this season, I know for certain he will be a mainstay on the team the year after that. Can't wait to see how Schaefer develops over the next few years. I am so excited by this pick. Even if the Islanders didn't get Hagens, it's not a bad day. It's a great day. This is huge for the franchise. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Patrick Nilan. Catch you on the next episode of Islanders Digest, where we will be talking about the other prospects the Islanders got in this first round, because the Islanders did really well for themselves today. See you later. Let's go, Islanders.